MHU on three. 1, 2, 3.
MHU.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to this week's Lion Coaches Show. Stuart Jolley along with Marzille, head football coach Tim Clifton. And, Coach, the Lions put some big numbers on the board last Thursday night, which is good as we get ready to roll into South Atlantic Conference action.
Yeah, I thought we, especially second half, we're still a little sluggish in the first half, but I thought in the second half we started playing better offensively, started moving the ball, getting some points on the board. But I thought our defense played extremely well. I thought they, especially first half and the third quarter, I thought they did a great job of keeping them pinned down and keeping them backed up. And I thought we did a good job in the punt game. I thought Brody stepping in and punting for us, I thought he did a great job. But in the third and fourth quarter, I thought offensively we started doing the things we were capable of doing.
Looking at some of the numbers, and I know we're going to have some highlights coming up for folks a little bit later on, but 156 yards rushing through the air, 318, so a very balanced attack there. What were your takeaways from that particular aspect of the game?
Well, I don't think we ran the football as well as we're capable of running it. I think we had too many blown assignments, and we just didn't execute in a run game like I think we're capable of. And I think we're really good at running back. I think we have 3 or 4 guys that are really good running backs, and I think we didn't execute real well, especially in the first half. But I think we're going to get better at that aspect. That's where we got to really concentrate on becoming a better football team, is being able to run the football.
The Dragons come in here. We talked about there in the Christian League. I looked. There's all total, there are like 92 different schools that comprise that group of schools. Is it? I guess we'll back it up and say, was it as challenging to get your team focused on a team that, from a standpoint of depth, we had more depth in terms of just total number of players. We have more players. Resources, we have more resources. Talk a little bit about how difficult that is to get your team to focus in a situation like that.
Well, I think the week before, losing in overtime gave us a chance to get them focused and gave us a chance to pound home where we were and what we had to do. And I thought we got their attention after the first practice on Sunday. We didn't have a very good practice that Sunday, and we got their attention that afternoon, and we got them going the next practice, on that Monday. But I think, we didn't play as well as we wanted to play in the first game. So just hammering it home that, we got to be prepared. It doesn't matter who you play. You got to be prepared for your opponent. And really, the biggest opposition is yourself anyway. Is whether you'll work extremely hard, and whether you'll be the team that you're talking about being. You can talk about it, but you got to work at it, and you got to be dedicated in what you do, and be disciplined in what you do. And I thought we were able to hammer that home to them.
474 yards total offense for the Mountain Lions in that contest against 128 offensively for the Dragons. We were talking about, as you get into kind of the feel of the season, things that you identify, game 1 to work on game 2, game 2 to work on game 3, penalties. We had a few. They had a few. There was a lot of laundry at various points in time. To me, I expect that early in the season. And again, one of those, I know we've got a lot of young people that, as you and I have talked off camera, fact of the matter is, we've got some folks haven't played football in almost 2 years or in 2 years. So how frustrating is that? But at the same time, how expected is that from a coaching staff?
Well, I think the biggest thing is pre-snap penalties. Those are the ones that really, really bother you. Is you get a penalty before the ball's ever snapped, jumping on either side of the ball, offsides before the ball gets into play. Those are the ones that really drive you crazy. And then the other is being disciplined enough to walk away on some certain issues. And I thought our guys did a great job in that. There was a lot of pushing at the end of plays and things like that. And I thought our guys did a real good job of walking away from it and getting away from those things. But, on the average, if you have 100 yards in penalties, you're giving up 7 points is what's going to happen when you have 100 yards in penalties. Somehow, sooner or later, it ends up being a 7-point deficit there. So you're just trying to make sure each week that you get better in that area and that you're more disciplined in that area as you play.
Quick scoring recap for everybody. If you were not able to log on to the game or we're not here in person, and Coach will kind of talk about these quickly as we go through. Mars Hill gets on the board first as Tyson Nelson gets a 4-yard pass from Jimmy Urzua. 2-point conversion was good. Mountain Lions up 8-0, 6:10 to go. Took a little bit longer, I think, probably to get on the board than we would have liked.
Yeah,
in that first quarter of action.
I think so. I think we didn't execute there, especially in one series there. We didn't execute as well as we should have, but I thought, we got a turnover and that set us up. And, again, we offensively have got to get to a faster start. And that's what you got to work on. So what we're working on now is getting our engines going, and let's move it and get on the board quickly.
Second period, Mountain Lions got on the board quickly in the second period. 14:51 mark. C.J. Thompson, 30-yard pass from Jimmy Urzua, and we mentioned him early on, Brody Whitson with the 2-point conversion attempt. So Mountain Lions in good shape, up 16-0 as we roll into halftime. That being the case, yes, you've got 2 scores we've punched in, but the game's still darn close.
Yeah, I mean,
what do you say at halftime?
To the players, you say, you hadn't played your best. Now, defensively, I thought we'd played really well, but you just go in and say, we hadn't executed at our best. And we got to go out now and execute a lot better than we did in the first half. And let's do what we do, and let's go out and execute. And, and then you challenge them to step up and execute. And defensively, you just said, continue on the pace you're on and continue shutting them down and give us more opportunities to get the ball and get some more turnovers and but keep them bottled up, and let's win the field position, and then let's execute and score some points.
Second half, both squads put some numbers on the board. 7:54 mark, Marquise Williams gets an 11-yard pass from Jimmy Urzua, and the 2-point conversion attempt, and that was hopefully that made the highlights. That was a good conversion attempt there by Tyson Nelson. So Mars Hill's up with 3 scores. Then come back in the 3:01 mark of the third period. Once again, Urzua connects with Williams. A very, very similar play, but this time it got a little bit creative, and Urzua goes in. There were a couple of those plays that there was some moving on, and like, well, that's not going to. Oh, by daggone, they pulled that off. How did that happen? Was that some little bit of razzle-dazzle for the Mountain Lions?
Well, we've worked on 2-point conversions, and we've got a scheme we're working, but Jimmy wasn't on the field, and it looked like a little bit of Canadian League, a guy running in and fixing to run a route, and it really should have been a penalty, with him because he was going toward the ball when it was snapped. I don't think the referee ever saw him, to be honest with you. And but Brody did a good job with what we had put in and how some of the things we did, and we knew going in we were going to be without a kicker, so we practiced a ton of 2-point plays.
So for those that were watching that and saw it unfold in front of you in Mayer Stadium, yes, some razzle-dazzle, yes, man, that's pretty darn good, but what you're saying is, okay, we pulled that one out and got the conversion attempt.
Yeah, we had 10 on the field, and Jimmy, and normally, Jimmy was on it the whole game, but normally he's not in there. But we were going to need Jimmy to hold, so he had to be in there, and then we went for 2.
And Lynchburg's watching him the whole time.
Yeah,
like, okay, what are they going to do with this guy? What are they going to do?
I have no idea what we were going to do with him, to be honest with you, except yell at him for not being on the field.
To wrap things up in the third quarter, Lynchburg finally gets on the board with a big 76-yard pass play from Samples. He's got a pretty good arm. Various times throughout the contest, they're making good on the PAT. So as we roll through 3 periods of play, Mountain Lions convincingly in front, and then we go to the fourth quarter. Again, some big scores by Mars Hill. 4-yard run by C.J. Lee Parker. I'll get his name right eventually this season. Brody had the kick blocked. Then we had one more score by Malik Laurie, and that was a 76-yard pass from Brody. Let's talk about that a little bit, because if you just show up to the game and you know nothing about what Mars Hill does and who the players are or anything, you're watching Whitson and he's been kicking, and now all of a sudden you've got this play that he's throwing the ball. So if you're up in the stands, you're going, all right, he's multi-talented, he's multi-purpose, but we know he comes out of a pretty good program there at T.C. Robertson. That's not the first time that young man went to the air on a play.
No, he threw it. I'm surprised he's got an arm left. He threw so many passes in high school, and but we had to use him to punt and kick, this past week, and he rose to the occasion. But he was an excellent quarterback in high school, and he's battling here, and we were able to play 3 quarterbacks, and we were able to play a lot of guys, and he came in and he was able to get a slant route, and Malik, when he caught it, if it's a foot race, he's probably going to win the foot races.
Those of you that have followed line football over the years, you may be saying, wait a second, Whitson. Was there a Whitson? Yes, there was. That would be Randy. That would be, he's got his name in the record book on a few things. So that's his son, and glad to have him part of the line program and doing what we talk about so many times, continuing that where the dad was taken care of as a player here, is a great, outstanding, he's law enforcement, well known in the community, and then we end up with the son. So that's a perfect example of how you and your coaching staff build individuals in this program.
Yeah, we've been fortunate over the years to get former players and sons to come here and play, and it's been really good for us. The Harbison guys were really good football players, here, and we've just been fortunate enough to get some of our former players' sons here, and they've and some of them been better than the dads, and 1 or 2 might not have been as good as their dads. So, but it's great to have that family tradition and bring those guys into our program.
I would imagine Randy probably has some discussion with son about punting. Here's what we do.
Yeah.
So I kept thinking about that up in the booth. I'm like, oh, that's going to be an interesting conversation over the dinner table. Yeah. Mars Hill puts it in one more time with 3 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in the contest as a 59-yard run by Trinell Moore. seals the deal. Mountain Lions win this contest 50-14. When we come back, we'll talk about this week's challenge right after this.
Second down and 1. Into the end zone, number 48, Anthony Parker.
welcome back to the second part of the Tim Clifton Coaches Show. I'm Stuart Jolley, Lion head coach Clifton with us here. Coach, I hope the folks enjoyed those highlights as much as we enjoyed watching that game on Thursday night. But now that's behind us. But one last little thing came out of that game. Let's talk about the young man, Dexter Fitzpatrick. We got some kudos coming to him from the league office and other ways for recognition. Fill us in on that.
Well, I thought he played extremely well. He has a knack for the football, and he runs to the ball and he plays extremely hard. But I thought our defense played phenomenal anyway. I mean, on Coach Pfeiffer's count, after he counted, we had I think 13 or 14 sacks. And we just, I thought Earl Adams played well. I thought Deshaun Goins. I thought all those guys ran to the ball. I thought our linebackers, Honeycutt, I thought he played well. I thought those guys did a great job. And, Tyson Daniels. But those linebackers with Dexter and Tyson and Honeycutt and Jabril Norman, those guys are really good football players, and the front played extremely hard. But I thought our defense, you take away two plays, two long passes, and I'm not sure they had 80 total yards of offense. So I thought our defense played well. But Dexter he's a true linebacker. He has a knack to getting to the football and making plays.
And if you're the opposition, you're like, oh boy, he's already here.
Yeah, he
was
a knack.
lots of times. He's like, catch the ball, done.
Yeah, I think he has a knack, and he runs sideline to sideline. So, I thought he played really well, but I thought our defense overall played really well, and I thought they played with tremendous effort. And you play defense with effort. That's how you're good on defense. Is you play hard and you play with great effort.
Statistically, for the totals on Dexter, the junior from LaGrange, Georgia, credited with 11 total sacks, 3 of which were credited as solo tackles. Had 3 sacks and 3 tackles for loss, and accounting for 28 yards there. He was able to interrupt quite well of the Dragons. Now, that game's behind us fully, but these teams, they keep coming from Virginia. So we've got another one. The University of Virginia at Wise, still one of the newer teams in the league. They have common opponent with us. Let's talk about that and then kind of look ahead what you kind of expect, Coach.
Well, they played Lynchburg also, and they did a great job against Lynchburg. And what they did is they put Lynchburg out of the game early. They didn't let them hang around, and they did what we did in the second half. They did in the first half. For them, that was a warm-up. For us, it's warm-up getting ready for conference play. And they played ETSU this past weekend. They played well against ETSU, and it was a good football game. And they did a good job of moving the ball against them. They did a good job of slowing ETSU down. So they're a really good football team, and every time we play them, it's always a good game.
Expectations in terms of what they bring to the field offensively versus defensively. Which one of those would you give a nod to that, they may be a little bit better in this, so we're going to try to focus on that? Or times we've seen them, particularly at their place over the years when it's gotten really interesting on scoring, they seem to be fairly well balanced. Is that again the case this season?
Yeah, they are offensively. They have a great scheme in how they get the ball to their receivers. They've got really tall receivers. Those guys are long, and the quarterback does a great job of finding them, and they find holes in the defense and sit down and they make really good catches, but they can also run with the football, and you can throw it over the top and those guys are big enough to go up and get it. And then on defense, their scheme, they pressure you, and they put pressure on the wideouts, and they do a great job of playing man coverage on the wideouts, and a very balanced football team, and they have a real good kicking game. I mean, this will be a game that we'll have to play extremely well in, but it's a conference opponent, and that's what happens in this conference.
So now we've talked about that aspect for the Cavaliers from UVA Wise. On the Mars Hill side of things, what do you see as strengths and weaknesses? That 2 weeks of football behind us now, what do you expect to see in terms of improvements as we open league action?
Well, I think we got to get better at running the football. I think offensively, that's what we've got to do, and we've got to get better at it, and we've got to do a better job of executing. It all comes down to execution and assignment, and we've got to do a better job there. And then defensively, I think the biggest thing this week is you can't give up a big play, and you got to make them earn everything they get. And then I'm looking forward to getting our kicking game back and going from there. But I think they just a well coached football team, and they got talent. So that's a good combination when you got talent and you're well coached.
Something else going to be different this week, league action. So that's something different. This is going to be our first afternoon game. We've gone 2 home games, 7 p.m. on Thursdays. From a preparation standpoint, we're back to the norm,
yeah.
But because we've not done it, it's not been the norm.
No, it hadn't been the norm.
So how is that a challenge for the coaches and the team, or is it one of those things of, hey, we're just playing on Saturday instead of Thursday, we're going to do the same thing?
Yeah, I don't. You can't let that come into play that you play on Thursday, and you have a short week, or you play on Saturday and you have a long week. You still got to prepare, and you got to prepare the same way each time. And I think the biggest key was figuring out how to get days off in all of this, because you have to get days off. So, we took Saturday off, and then we turn around and you take Monday off, because of the way it falls during the week. But, I think now we'll get back into a regular routine, and it'll be that way for the rest of the season. And, some people say, well, you get an extra day, and you do to a degree, but you still got to find on Thursday night, getting ready for a Saturday the next week, where your off days are. So, in the old days, you didn't take off days. So yeah, you got ahead. You got a chance to get ahead before you played on a Saturday from a Thursday. But nowadays, it's basically a half a day, that you might get. But our preparation is the vets know what it is. That we'll work all the way through the week and do a walkthrough. Friday night and those kind of things. So they know what to expect. I think it's the young guys that don't really know, because even the guys who are here in the spring and last fall, they don't really know what it's like to play a Saturday game. They hadn't played a Saturday game probably in their lifetime, unless they played on a Saturday night.
And we haven't played one since November of 19.
Yeah, that's right. So it's been a long time since we played a day game. Yeah.
You've heard the challenges. You've heard the compliments of our team going into this matchup against the Cavs of UVA Wise. We hope you can come out and join us. We've had good attendance on Thursday night, but if you show up here looking for a game Thursday night, it's not going to be football. We need you to come in on Saturday afternoon. Come in a little bit early. Gates open usually an hour and a half beforehand. We always have the concession areas open. How important is it to a team to have that crowd behind them?
Well, I think anytime you can get your crowd going and they get behind you, I think, football's a game of momentum. I mean, it's highs and lows, and you want your fans to be in it during the highs and keep you high, keep you going. And it's important when they're there and they're vocal and they're getting after it and they're having a great time. It's very important to our football team, and it's very important to help you keep momentum and to get it going. And I think the crowds have been outstanding and been very vocal, and we want them to continue that way.
We hope you're going to be part of that vocal crowd sitting up in the stands in Mirror Stadium. We'll be back next week to look at all the happenings with the UVA Wise game, and then look ahead to another South Atlantic Conference matchup as the Lions will have their first road trip of the 2021 season as we travel down to Lenoir Rhine. For Mars Hill head football coach Tim Clifton, I'm Stuart Jolley. Thank you for being part of our show today. Please, when you get a chance, stop by the university, pull for these young people, be a noise in the stand. It does make a difference, and we are greatly appreciative. So long for now.
MSU on 3, 1, 2, 3.
MSU.